Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sport here on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. We have lots to talk about. Some persons retiring already and following suit with what Williams Trust Ekong did. That's talking about Ahmed Musa. Ahmed Musa has officially retired from playing international football and retiring from the Super Eagles entirely, but still plays for Kano Pillars. So we're having that conversation. We saw in the Carabao Cup yesterday where Real Madrid were victorious by winning 2-0 after the goalkeeper of the opposition tried so hard to keep them away from scoring, but at the end of the day, the Galacticos found a breaking point and then they scored 2 goals. And then in the Carabao Cup, Manchester City were victorious against Brighton yesterday. We saw Newcastle, current champions of the Carabao Cup, defeating Fulham in a 9-minute 2-1, and all of this has solidified their semi-final confirmation. Chelsea was, the earlier team to advance into the semi-final after beating their opponents 3-1. That all happened on Tuesday night, and then also we saw actions, and the Super Eagles have now landed in, have left Cairo, Egypt to Morocco to have their final camping exercise and also get themselves ready for the matches that will be coming up starting from Sunday. That's talking about the African Cup of All Nations. And again, there is a bit of turbulence in the camp. Ahmed Musa had been the captain way before he retired. Then Williams Trust Ekong was just filling in his role. That's also the retirement came in for Williams Trust Ekong. And now in the camp, currently the Super Eagles does not have a captain. A couple of individuals have thrown their weight behind a couple of players who they feel should lead the team in AFCON and, moving forward. And then we're going to have that conversation because there seems to be a lot of pressure mounted on Eric Chell on that note. So we will see how all of that will be panning out. The NBA regular season is back. Congratulations to New York Knicks for being victorious and defeating Spurs, who had the lead in the first, second, and third quarter of first half of the third quarter of the Emirates Cup finals. This happened the early hours of yesterday morning, but still somehow New York Knicks digged in deep and then got their redeem and made sure they won the second half of the third quarter, and then they crowned it up all in the fourth quarter by emerging victorious for the Emirates Cup. And then the regular season is here. It's the Christmas season, and we'll be seeing a whole lot of Christmas decorations in the NBA arena, as we saw Cleveland taking on Chicago Bulls, and then we saw Timberwolves also taking on Grizzlies early hours of this morning. We will bring you all of those highlights and have all of these talks immediately after this break. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining, this is Talk Sport, and I am Samuel Odi. Starting from the home front as always, Ahmed Musa announces his retirement from international football. Ahmed Musa has officially announced his retirement from international football. Musa, who is currently the general manager of Nigerian Premier Football League, Kano Pillars, made the announcement on his social media. This happened yesterday. He says, "I wore this badge with pride for 15 years. From a 17-year-old boy answering every call to becoming the most capped Super Eagles player with 111 appearances, AFCON champion, the AFCON champion highlights highlights the World Cup goal scorers captain Sarent believer that he says, "I gave everything, thank you Nigeria, and my heart will always beat green," he wrote. The 33-year-old made his debut for the Super Eagles in 2012 African Cup of All Nations qualifying feature against Madagascar on the 5th of September 2010. The winger was part of the Super Eagles side that won the African Cup of All Nations title in 2013 in South Africa. Musa remains the only Nigerian to score more than once in a FIFA World Cup match for the Super Eagles, and he is someone that's Musa is someone that a whole lot of persons are still expecting to see in the AFCON this season, this year. But, you know, a lot of shocking things is coming to us. And then this came as a shock to the entire sports world as he announced his retirement from international football yesterday. Musa had actually played his part starting from the under-17. He has represented Nigeria locally and internationally. He had scored goals, and when Nigeria needed a hero, overnight, Musa stepped up a couple of times and he gave his all, and then I think it's time he feels it's time for him to, you know, bow out. Earlier we saw late last month, yes, we saw William Strauss-Ekong, who was also retiring after playing 83 caps for the Super Eagles. He also poured his heart out to the Super Eagles team and for Nigeria for giving him the opportunity to represent and wear the the green jersey and fly the green, white, green flag both home and abroad. And I want to thank you guys so much for all that you did for Nigeria, and we appreciate the effort, the sacrifices, and everything that comes with playing with the Super Eagles. We appreciate you guys for all of those great things that you've done for the country, and wishing you all well with whatever you all are looking to continue your path with. So moving on, AFCON 2025 Super Eagles depart Cairo camp for Morocco. The Super Eagles will depart Cairo for Fez, Morocco, today ahead of the 2025 African Cup of All Nations. Eric Chilli's men opened camp in Cairo, Egypt for the competition this past Sunday. All the 28 players are now in camp following Victor Osimhen's arrival late last night. The Super Eagles lost 2-1 to Egypt in their only pre-African friendly at the Cairo International Stadium on Tuesday night. They will continue their preparation for the competition when they arrive Fez. Nigeria will face the Tafia Stars of Tanzania in their opening feature next week, Tuesday, before taking on Tunisia's Katanga Eagles on December the 27th and Uganda's Cranes on the 30th of December, respectively. The Super Eagles will play all of their group games at the Grand Stade de Fez Stadium, and then we'll be looking at them to, you know, the face of these people as if they are playing the finals. I would advise the Super Eagles to approach every game they are playing as if they are playing the African Cup of All Nations finals, so as the mentality will be different, and then they will know that they have to win. And winning is very, very key at this point. Looking at the star quality that the Super Eagles squad has, it's very deep and we have depth. So most of the players are on 100%, no injury concerns going into the AFCON, and we pray they don't pick up any during the final training stages that they'll be having in Morocco. Yes, they might be jet-lagged a bit because of a lot of flying, and we just hope that they are on 100% and they are looking to, you know, take it all the way and make Nigeria proud. Compensate for not qualifying for the World Cup. Though there are still conversations that there's a chance that the Super Eagles might qualify because of for fielding ineligible players by DR Congo, and the petition has been sent to FIFA. Investigations are all going. A lot of persons are bantering that, you know, some persons, I'm also one of those that's never agreeing with what the NFF is doing. Though you can do what you're supposed to do, but this is like a damage control that the NFF is trying to do. I just hope that they're not trying to raise the hopes of Nigerians high, because in the FIFA rules, it says if the playoffs haven't happened in Canada, Mexico, and US, there's an opportunity for the Super Eagles to qualify. So we would see how all of this will pan out. But if the Super Eagles and the NFF, rather the NFF, if the NFF had done their job, their administrative job properly, the Super Eagles wouldn't be in this mix, and we won't be having all of this conversation of, yes, looking for an advantage somewhere because they need to, advance. We did not win by playing on the pitch. Yes, though the players gave everything they had during the final playoff games against, DR Congo, but when it comes to penalty, it's anybody's game, and DR Congo were the better team during the penalty shootout, and they won. So we will see how all of this pans out and how far this investigation is going to go and what is going to lead to at the end of the day. Still talking AFCON 2025, anxiety has hit as Eric Chell yet to name new Super Eagles captain. So, with only a few days left before the 2025 African Cup of All Nations kicks off, the Super Eagles are yet to officially name their new captain. This follows the retirement of both Williams Troost-Ekong and Ahmed Musa ahead of the tournament. Troost-Ekong was the first to make his announcement even before the 54-man provisional list was trimmed down to 28. On Wednesday, just last night, Musa also heard rumors he could play for Super Eagles by confirming his own retirement. Musa remains the highest capped Nigerian footballer with 111 appearances, and in the most he is the only one that has scored in 2 different World Cups. There are speculations that Super Eagles head coach Eric Chell has approved Wilfred Ndidi to be the next Super Eagles coach. Ndidi will be assisted by Moses Simon and Alex Iwobi. It remains to be seen if Telsmatic striker Victor Osimhen will be added to that leadership group. So looking at it now, Wilfred Ndidi, Simon Moses, and Alex Iwobi obviously are looking to be the oldest, yes, I would say, in the squad currently in terms of age, and also those that have been on the Super Eagles team longer than every other person, because most of these other guys are just coming in most recently. So we will see how all of this will pan out. We saw in the DR Congo match that Wilfred Ndidi was the one that led the team. He was wearing the captain badge. Maybe that trajectory would continue like that. But the likes of Odion Ighalo has thrown their weight behind Victor Osimhen. That yes, Victor Osimhen has what it takes to lead the Super Eagles. He has the drive and he has the passion that the Super Eagles need to, go through with all of that. So they need someone who is vocal and who can also take charge of the team on the pitch of play and control the tempo of the game as well, and control the tempo of, other individuals playing. So we will see how all of this pans out. But do I think Wilfred Ndidi would be able to lead the team? Yes, I think he will be able to lead the team. Alex Iwobi too has what it takes, but at the end of the day, the team coach would be the one to make all of this final decision. So we'll see how all of this pan out, and then we'll definitely bring you the update of who the new captain of the Super Eagles will be. Now the transfer windows are opening already, and we're seeing, teams going on loggerheads already as Manchester United and Tottenham are in a battle to sign El Mala. That's Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur have joined the battle to sign Cologne winger Saad El Mana next year. The Premier League club have now contracted the intermediary to register their interest in El Mala ahead of the next season's summer transfer window. The report added that both the Red Devils and Spurs have indicated that they would be willing to pay a transfer fee between 30.7 million euros and 35 million euros for El Mal. So we'll see how all of this pans out. El Mal is currently considered as one of the highest young prospects in German football. The 19-year-old made an excellent start to his first Bundesliga campaign with 6 goals and 2 assists in 14 league matches. He was rewarded last month for his form as German coach Julian Nagelsmann called him up to the national team for the first time. El Mal was also a key figure for Germany at the UEFA European Under-19 Championship and was named in the team for the team of the tournament. He was one of the leading guys, and so far we are seeing that teams from EPL, the best league in the world as it stands arguably, and the most difficult league in the world arguably, still fighting and trying to land him in their squad. So we'll see how all of this pans out. Moving on, still talking transfer, Thiago Silva's contract terminated from and he's looking to move back to Europe. Former Chelsea centre-back Thiago Silva has terminated his contract with Fluminense. Silva terminated his contract with Fluminense because he wants to move back to Europe in hopes to being closer to his family. The Brazilian's clear plan is to move to Europe as a free agent ahead of any other option in the Middle East or Major League Soccer in the coming days. The 41-year-old is keen to try in a new chapter as a free agent ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup next summer. Silva will be available with immediate effect from January the 1st, 2026, when the winter transfer window opens. The veteran defender has played for clubs like Dynamo Moscow, Paris Saint-Germain, AC Milan, and Chelsea previously. And then he is looking to come back to Europe, so he will be closer to his family. I think he should come back to Chelsea. I saw a report where John Terry was saying he will be glad if he sees Thiago Silva coming back to our club, he said, meaning talking Chelsea. Obviously, he's still a very big Chelsea fan, so we will see what will pan out. Do I think he can fit in? I think his experience is needed within that Chelsea backline. So Enzo Maresca, look beyond his age, look at the experience of what he can be able to bring and add to the team, and then let's see how well it might pan out for him. But do I think he can fit in? Of course he can fit in. He understands the philosophy, and he has been in Chelsea for a couple of seasons, and I think he has what it takes to be able to have 1 or 2 more seasons with the Blues. So moving on, still talking transfers, Arsenal to sign Kanya for Arteta. So Arsenal are showing their determination to sign Kanya from Juventus ahead of January transfer window. As reported by Touchline on Wednesday, the Arsenal board has told manager Mikel Arteta he needs to sell one of his attackers to make Kanya's signing happen. The Gunners chief are keen to bolstering Arteta's squad in the second half of the season when January transfer window opens. The Premier League North London club are keen to winning the English top flight this season, having finished in second position in the last 3 seasons. This season, Arsenal is currently on top of the Premier League table with 2 points ahead of second place Manchester City. Arteta's side will face Everton in their next Premier League feature this weekend, and again, it's going to be very, very tough because we know how it always goes down between Arsenal and Everton. Sometimes 1-1 draw, 2-1 win, sometimes in favor of Everton and sometimes in favor of Arsenal. So we will see how all of this pans out, because if they should lose or get a draw this season or in this weekend's game, then it's opening more room for Manchester City to climb and be the number 1 team. And if that does happen, you all know how Manchester City goes whenever they are leading and being number 1 on the Premier League log. It's going to be it's always a whole lot of drama to see, and they will rarely give up that position for any reason. So we will see how all of these would pan out as the transfer windows is opening. A whole lot is actually happening. We are hearing some couple of rumors that a deal will be finalized very early in the month of January for Samuel Chukwueze between AC Milan and Fulham, because Samuel Chukwueze has been playing a very fantastic, beautiful football for for Fulham since being on loan. And again, another big rumors coming out is that Eric needs to be moved from Real Madrid and be loaned somewhere, because he is always on the bench, not getting playing time, and that is also affecting his career. So we will see if Alonso will be shipping him off on loan somewhere so as he'll gain more experience, or he'll be traded. Because looking at the Real Madrid squad now, who are you going to bench? There is actually nobody that he's going to bench, and of course, he doesn't have any form of playing time. So let's move away from transfer talks and then talk about Carabao Cup semi-finals draws that have been confirmed. The draw for this season's Carabao Cup semi-finals were conducted last night. It followed Newcastle's latest grips win over Fulham in the late quarter-final tie. For this week, the Magpies needed a late header from Luiz to defeat their Premier League rivals 2-1 at St James Park. Earlier in the evening, Manchester City beat Brentford 2-0 at Etihad, while Chelsea won 2-0 at Cardiff City on Tuesday night. Newcastle, who are the current holders, will take on City in the last four. The winner of Arsenal versus Crystal Palace tie plays Chelsea in the other semi-finals. The semi-final first leg will be played on the week of January, on the 12th rather of January, with the second leg of the week in the second leg in February, on the 2nd of February, I beg your pardon, 2026. So that has been the draw, and that's what it's going to be looking like. So moving away from Carabao Cup quickly, Copa del Rey, 12 clubs qualify for the round of 16. At least 12 clubs have booked their place in the Copa del Rey round of 16 stage. This follows the conclusion of Wednesday's round of 32 features played across different grounds in Spain. Real Madrid and Atlético Madrid defeated the likes of Tal Varia and Atlético Bilbao, respectively, to progress to the next stage. Osasuna, Albert, Culture, Leonesa, Racing, and Alvarez also won their matches to advance to the last round of 16. They will now join Barcelona, Deportivo, Elche, and Real Sociedad, as well as Valencia, in the round of 16. Meanwhile, more rounds of 32 features will take place later today, and the winner will join the aforementioned 12 teams in the last round of 16. And this is what we are expected to see later today in the world of sport. And also a whole lot will be happening again coming from tomorrow. Some EPL matches will be played tomorrow and Saturday, and then the big one that will be happening within the continent of Africa will kickstart on Sunday. That's talking about the African Cup of All Nations, and that will be happening in Morocco. So ahead of those matchups, we'll just keep our fingers crossed and see what the results and how those matchups will turn out. So now let's quickly look at the highlights between Manchester City versus Brentford, and also we'll take a look at the highlights of Newcastle versus Fulham as the game ended in a dramatic fashion. But at the end of the day, the current holders of the Carabao Cup were victorious at 9 minutes. The highlights between